with this Gustave build, because she died, she has auto break on like death. His break bar is already filled up, but overcharge is not filled up. But if I use shatter, it'll break the enemy, and if the target does get broken, it fully charges overcharge. So that's pretty good on top of us making Gustave go twice in a row. Look at that. And then we can overcharge for the kill. Oh my god. This build is fucking awesome. What? So on Gustave, we have Strike Storm, we have Shatter, and Overcharge. And those are essentially the moves that you're going to be using for the most part as soon as you unlock. The best thing about Lumiere Assault is that if you're low on AP, which you technically might be unless you have those energizing AP turn Pictos, which I'll talk about just now. But basically, Strike Storm replaces Lumiere Assault. And actually, let's get a full breakdown of these moves. So Strike Storm, it deals very high single target damage. It does 6 strikes, but every time you get a critical hit, it'll generate 2 additional charges. If you guys see on the top right here, my Gustave has 101% crit rate, which means every hit is a guaranteed crit for him. So Strike Storm always automatically fills up Overcharge because it's 6 hits. Each of those 6 hits land. That's 12 charges total. So he technically gets overcharge off of like 1 usage of that, right? But then you also have Shatter, which is awesome. Can break enemies. It hits all enemies. It can break them. But if the target gets broken by this, overcharge will also fill up. So again, we go back into overcharge. Early on in Gustave's kit, moves like Powerful and Marking Shot have great use, but they fall off later on because you eventually get Pictos that automatically do these things instead of having to use this to waste a turn. For example, you can get Auto Powerful eventually to be applied to teammates or apply it in different ways. And also Marking Shot, you technically use a turn to immediately mark an enemy, but there's a Picto that you can make it so that your free aim shot, which doesn't use a turn, has a 20% chance of marking enemies. And it absolutely works. It's great to use that way. And then he has 2 healing abilities. Recovery gives him 50% health back, and Dispel status effects, which is solid. And from Fire, which if the enemy is burnt, he'll deal damage to them and heal himself for 20%. Which, healing in this game, you can totally do it, but the defense aspect, if you get really good at parrying, get really good at dodging, you don't have to worry about it too much. Overall, his best moves at the current point, you can get these. Strike Storm and Shatter until you can unlock more. Honestly, really broken strategies can be found with this to just continuously loop and break enemies over and over again as you progress. And I really like Gustave's kit, even though he has a kind of like the base entry-level learning kit compared to everybody else, which has like, you know, Mael has stances and Lune has stains. CL is all about buffing teammates, debuffing enemies, and also applying stacks to them. And then Monoko is the blue mage with all these crazy skills. I'm still missing one. So going as Gustave, we have Marking Shots. So we'll go ahead and we'll see how many shots it takes to mark an enemy. That was 3 shots to mark that enemy. And then look, we could still do an attack. Whereas for Marking Shot, you have to use it there. You will guarantee mark an enemy, but you lose a turn. And I do have Cheater Picto on, so it's giving me an extra turn. But still, you get so much more use out of regular shots versus that. Slap Marking Shots as soon as you get it on, man. It's good on any character, really. It only costs 3 Lumina, so it's very well within a good reason to use it on everybody, so everybody has an opportunity to mark an enemy. Because marking enemies, they take 50% more damage, so that's how you can honestly maximize your overall damage output, whether you have Painted Power yet or not. The key to this build, though, is we have Lune equipped, and I'll switch to active so you guys can see. We actually have Lune equipped with auto death, so she'll die as soon as the battle starts, but she also has breaking death. So if she dies on the battle start and she has breaking death, it'll fully charge enemies' break bars on death. Makes this even better. We have second chance, so we don't technically lose her. She revives back with 100 HP. She's good to go in that sense. So she's basically breaking, instantly putting the enemies in a position for Gustave to be completely broken, no pun intended, and destroy them. These are the Pictos we have in Gustave. I'll be linking down below wiki pages that you guys can use in order to find where to get these Pictos. I have at death's door, so this way if Gustave is at 1 HP, which he is, I have him at 1 HP, he'll deal basically 50% more damage. We have a bunch of this stuff. If you see my previous videos, this is essentially Mael and Gustave run a mirrored set of the same build. You can get all of these Pictos on your first playthrough. You don't have to do New Game Plus at all to get any of these Pictos. The only differences I've noticed with New Game Plus is that you get higher levels, but that only matters if you're trying to directly equip the Picto, right? But essentially on Gustave, you're going to want to have Energizing Start. That's more AP on battle start. All of them. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have 4. You might have only 2, maybe 3. Equip those on Gustave as soon as you can. And Energizing Turn. Basically, we have everything that has to do with AP he has, because Strike Storm does cost a lot of AP to use. And this essentially makes it so that we will be maxed out as soon as the battle starts. We have Energy Master, which also helps out. For every AP that is gained, increase it by 1. So every time he gets AP, this is 2. This is also 2. 2, 2, 2. So it's stupid amounts of AP he'll always get on every turn. Especially with Energizing Turn, it constantly happens. Energizing Start only is for the beginning of the battle. And technically, you probably only need 1, 2, and 3. You don't need Energizing Start 4. I'm wasting 20 AP. I mean, 20 Lumino points by using that. But yeah, there's essentially is no point in really doing that. So this is the build, and I'll just go through it really quickly just to show you guys. Augmented counter for increased counter strike damage. Augmented first strike, so 50% increased damage on the first hit once per battle. So your first hit will always deal more damage. We have auto death. We talked about that. Charging critical. I have this on him only for the crit rate, right? Because if you look at the main 3 that I have equipped on him, I have powerful on shelf for 25% crit rate, quick break for 36% quick break, critical rate, and charging critical for 35%. You don't need to use these exact ones. I'm just using ones that specifically put him over the edge for his critical rate to be at 100%, just so I don't have to put any points into luck. Right, all my points are into vitality, might, and agility. And of course, we have cheater. Cheater you get at a later point in the game, Act 2, so you won't necessarily have access to that right now. So unfortunately, you'll have to to wait a little bit till you get that. And we got Dead Energy for 3 more AP on killing an enemy. Crit Moment, 50% increased crit chance if health is below 30%. And Confident Fighter we talked about. Death Bomb too, if he dies, he does damage to all enemies, so it's like a last resort thing. Energizing Break, he does get more AP on breaking a target, which he's our specialist breaker, so we're gonna keep that on him. More AP for everybody if he dies too. And again, Energy Master. I have Exhausting Power on as just a what if thing. I haven't found a way to actually get Exhausted afflicted to your teammates without an enemy specifically hitting you with it, and only certain enemies have it, so yeah. But 50% damage for that situation, I'll take it. Full Strength, 25% increased damage on full health, which is always great. First Strike, he'll always play first. This is why we've been walking around and we're just like not even worrying about hitting enemies. We just walk into them and First Strike procs. First Offensive, first hit dealt and taken deals 50% more damage. You could actually get this from the sheep enemy, the chromatic sheep in the very beginning of the game. It's really hard to beat. If you beat it as early as possible, first hit dealt and taken deals 50% more damage. High risk, high reward. You definitely want to get this ASAP. As soon as you could beat that sheep, don't try to like kill yourself over it, but go for it if you can. It helps out everybody. I have Glass Cannon on Gustave. Deal 25% more damage, but take 25% more damage. That's okay because he starts off a fight, every single fight, with 8 shields, meaning an enemy has to hit him 8 times before they can actually deal damage to him. Have Immaculate. 30% increased damage until a hit is received, so that's also good. Immediate Res. Plus 3 shields on battle start, but max health is half. The more shields Gustave has, because we have Shield Affinity. No, not that one. It's Powerful Shield. 10% increased damage per shield point on self. So starting off the battle with 3 shields is already great. Inverted Affinity. I love this on everybody that you can get it on. It's basically free damage, but you can't heal your character. The main thing with this, you want to have this if you have Confident Fighter. You want to have Confident Fighter on because it'll increase your damage with 30%, but you can't be healed, which benefits the Inverted Affinity. Painted Power is story related, so you won't get this until way later in the game. This is how you can break the damage limit, but even without this, you can still make very good use out of this build. It's so good. Powerful Shield we talked about, but 10% increased damage per shield point on self. He gets 8 shields, so that's 80% more damage output. Fucking insane. Quick Break, play again on breaking a target. So because he is our break specialist, it makes sense for him to have Quick Break on. So he breaks an enemy, he goes again. He breaks an enemy, goes again. Roulette, one of my favorite ones. Every hit has a 50% chance to deal either 50% less damage or 200% more damage. That's the way to read that. It's a gamble. Second chance to revive. If he dies, shield affinity, 30% increased damage while having shields. It's another 30% bonus on top of the 90%, 80% that we're getting. Shield death. If he dies, he gives other allies 3 shields, which is good. And we got solo fighter on him because it only costs 1, but he'll deal 50% more damage if he's fighting alone. Solidifying, more shields if he falls below 50% health. Shortcut to fight immediately falling below 30%. Survivor. He will tank death blow basically. So he will not die once per battle, which is cool because we have auto death. So this is how we're bringing him immediately down to 1 HP. It's another way to really take advantage of that, and Mael can also use that too, which is great. I like that about that. Only trade-off is that they'll always be dirty as shit and covered in blood. We got Tainted, increased damage for each status effect on Stealth. So this helps out with his Rush, Shell, Regen, Inverted. All of those status effects count towards increasing the damage. That's always good. And Teamwork, 10% increased damage while all allies are alive. And we got Warming Up, so every turn he gets 5% increase more damage. These are all my ideal Pictos that I have for Gustave. You're not going to have all of these immediately. You're gonna have to work towards getting them. But overall, if you can have at least 5 or like 10 of these right now, I highly recommend you slap it on him. It really does help a lot, like having these on him. And these are what I have too, but I don't have these essentially equipped. I like running Gustave. I just like, he's so break heavy focused that enemies don't really have a chance to react or do anything. It's so nuts. I also have his best weapon in the game, which you get from a super boss. It's a hidden boss at the very end of the game that you can only access once you beat the game. It's called Simoso. Other than that, another good weapon for Gustave would be the Chevalam. And again, you can find all of these weapons on the wiki page. So yeah, your weapon's power will only be crazy high if you spec into those stats specifically. You see his vitality is A and his agility is S. And I have both of those maxed out. I have 99 agility, I have 99 vitality, and I put the rest into might just for maximum damage, right? And also, this is a 6 sword. You like the light effect on this? The runes on the side of the gun? He's a gun blade wielder, guys. And also, the way you're going to want to set this team up is you're going to want to have Gustave at point. So have Gustave selected as the first character on your team. And then I'm going to have Lune. And then I'm going to have Mael. Mael I like going last because she's such a powerhouse that if we ever, for whatever reason, get to her in battle, the fight is essentially over. So Gustave will start off first on first strikes. So I like I have first strike materia on. I said materia. First strike Picto on. So I just walk into the enemy. And there we go. And you'll see she got rezzed, and every single enemy has their break gauge already filled because of the fact that she died. She came back, and on her death, she put everybody into a break. So Gustave, and this is a perfect opportunity, especially against the boss, to just use Shatter, because Overcharge isn't charged up. And if they lived, right? If they lived, God, I did 1,000,000 damage. If they lived, we would have broken them. It's probably better to do these examples without Painted Power on because we're just demolishing enemies at this point. So I'm gonna have to self-nerf myself here, chat. So we're gonna take off Painted Power. Enemies all have their break bars filled up. They've all been broken. Damn, they have that barely did any damage to them. Shit. You really do need Painted Power then. Oh my god. So now Overcharge is fully charged up, as you guys can see. They're all broken.
For those who come after.
Yeah. You really do need Painted Power. Oh my god, we're so broken. I'm on New Game Plus. The enemies are supposed to be harder, but it's a weird balance because if I use Painted Power, I'm too strong. I one-shot them. If I don't use Painted Power, I don't deal enough damage. So we'll hit him. And we have an instant break here. Oh, and it's a kill. See, like Painted Power, bro. It's crazy strong. Lune is res. Let's break their arms off. We can go into a Shatter. All right, you break the enemy. Look how much we got back there. Overcharge. Damn, bro, it's so good. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with Gustave here, right? So I can Strike Storm. So deal a lot of 9s. Now I have Overcharge, and I'll play again. Right? It'll let me play again after breaking an enemy. I thought I had that equipped. Did I not? So let's try to figure this out. I don't know why Quick Break isn't working on Gustave. We'll go Strike Storm again. Just to build up the Overcharge. Right, we'll get that maxed out. Now we can Overcharge and break, or I could just shatter him. Let me try shattering. Doesn't make him go again. Damn, I was trying to go for 3 times in a row. Wouldn't let him do it. Play again on breaking a target. So yeah, I mean, if he breaks the target, he's supposed to play again. I feel like that's bugged. But Gustave's a fantastic character, like we talked about before. He's the break man. You essentially want to be building up his overcharges, using them to break enemies, and also between Strike Storm, right, and Lumiere Assault, which are both good. But as long as you max out his crit, Lumiere Assault's still good. You're going to generate 1 additional charge per the crit landed. That's 5 on this one, 6 on this one. Strike Storm's gonna be better because it's 6 hits, more damage, right? And Overcharge is your main thing that you're trying to build up towards and use, and then Shatter. He's a pretty straightforward, easy character to pick up and play, but I kind of wanted to show how flexible he can be with certain like Pictos and stuff. So it's a really solid strategy overall. If you guys found this guide helpful and you're looking forward to more Clair Obscur Expedition 33 content, hit that subscribe button and notification bell to help raise that 38% even higher. We got a lot more stuff coming your way. We got a Lune guide coming up next. I know it's the weekend. A lot of you will be diving into the game for the very first time. So Gustave, Lune, then Mael, CL, and Minoko. You can expect those guides coming your way as the days go on. Right, and I'll do what I can to get you guys all squared away and ready to go. I appreciate all the support, and if you guys want to also see the 500 million damage build, I've also posted that at the links down below. That's a Mael thing. Thanks to CL, Mael can pretty much break the game in more ways than I think the devs ever thought. And I love it, though. I think it's a really fun aspect of the game, and I've really been enjoying it now. So I'm going to work on the Lune guide. I'll see you guys in the next one. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new. More Clair Obscur Expedition 33 videos are on the way, and you don't want to miss them. My name is BltzZ, and thanks for watching.